Stephanie Shojaee makes damning statement about spending $40,000 for Julia Lemigova, exclusive. Stephanie Shojaee said she didn't feel very appreciated, despite her major contribution to the Spain trip. If there's one thing the Real Housewives of Miami's Stephanie Shojaee won't let fly, it's someone not appreciating her gifting the use of her private jet. On Season 7, Episode 12, Stephanie offered to cover the $40,000 cost for the ladies to accompany Julia Lemigova for a day trip from Seville to Marbella, Spain, where she intended to ask her close friends to be godfathers to her and wife Martina Navratilova's newly adopted sons. However, she also had several strict rules for the women to sign off on before boarding her airplane. So, when drama arose, resulting in Alexia Nepola and Marisol Patton accusing her of dangling her private jet in front of them, and eventually skipping the Marbella excursion entirely, Stephanie had plenty to get off her chest on the Real Housewives of Miami after show. I was like, how is me giving something so major turned around to make me feel so horrible? She vented in the above clip. I am really giving. I just like to do it. I just like to make people happy. Related, Stephanie Shojaee clears up a misconception about her business with husband Masood, exclusive. Stephanie pointed out that she didn't even know Julia very well at the time, but regardless, she thought it would be a kind gesture to invite her and the other women on her jet for an approximately 20-minute flight, rather than them having to take a 2.5-hour bus ride to Marbella. I was like, you know what? To make you happy because you want to go see your friends, because you have big news, because you really want to get to Marbella, I will spend $40,000 on a girl that I don't know from a hole in the wall, Stephanie added. I do it, and then it was like I didn't feel very appreciated. Julia Lemigova reacts to Stephanie Shojaee feeling unappreciated after Marbella. Julia also shared her POV on the matter during the after show, accusing Stephanie of having a bossy attitude. After all, in addition to asking the women to abide by her rules of etiquette, she also had threatened to leave behind anyone who misbehaved, forcing them to take a car back to Seville. That's take it or leave it, Julia elaborated. It's kind of hanging over your head. While explaining the reason for Alexia and Marisol's absence during Rom's August 28th episode, Julia had a similar conversation with Stephanie as they took a van ride from their hotel to her jet. Stephanie, I love you, but sometimes your delivery is very bossy, Julia said, to which Stephanie shot back, you obviously don't think I'm that bossy if you're about to get on my plane to go. Related, Julia Lemigova reveals if daughters have come around to her and Martina's adoption decision. In a confessional, Julia added, this is exactly what Marisol and Alexia were talking about. You don't offer something to, then, point it out in a kind of belittling way. Larsa Pippen, meanwhile, stepped in to defend Stephanie, telling the ladies it's costing her $40,000 to go 20 minutes. So, it's like if you're not gonna appreciate it, it's kind of like get up. Recommended for you. Julia Lemigova defends traveling to Marbella and her decision on her son's godparents. Despite the early dust-up, the women had a mostly drama-free visit to Marbella, where Julia's friend, Derek, happily accepted her request for him and his partner, Jeffrey, to serve as godfathers to her two boys. Elsewhere on the RHOM after show, Julia explained that they had been friends for about 15 years. Derek is amazing, she added. He was always there for Martina and I. Julia further shared during episode 12 that Derek and Jeffrey were already like family, and she wanted them to be the male figures that her sons didn't yet have in their lives. Adriana de Mora, meanwhile, said on the after show that she felt used and taken for granted after she vouched for Julia and Martina during the adoption process, but was never asked to be the boys' godmother. However, Julia revealed separately that her sons don't have a godmother yet. Either way, I think I'm just going to take it easy with the boys, she elaborated. It's just kind of baby steps. Get more with Bravo Insider. Sign up for Bravo Insider and read behind-the-scenes features including Cynthia Bailey unpacks the differences between filming RHOA and Rob, night and day. Receipts, proof, timeline, screenshots, a complete guide according to Bravolebs. Brittany Cartwright reveals the real reason she wore that tiny romper to a job interview. Backfired. Angela Oakley on the RHOA beef she squashed too soon, and what you didn't see at the reunion. Confessional Interviews 101. What Bravolebs eat, how they prepare, and more behind-the-scenes secrets. As RHOM Season 7 continues, get a sneak peek at the heated confrontation between Julia and Adriana that's still to come.